Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Aquarian Mind podcast. Today's podcast, episode number 209. I'm your host, Jamel Crothers. It's Wednesday Motivation and Inspiration, and today we're talking about bad habits don't open new doors. Yeah, I'm coming with it today. Oh, y'all gonna learn today. Because it's time. And it's only fitting that I do this at the beginning of, a new year. Yeah. You know those bad habits that you have? Procrastination, laziness, unmotivated most of the time, doing things that don't pertain to your goals? Guess what? Those bad habits are surely not going to open doors that you want to go through. Trust me. Procrastination means you don't care enough to set the time to get the work done. And laziness only means that you just don't want to get anything done and can let days go by without doing anything. Being unmotivated means you always need someone on you to do the work that you need to do, which isn't necessarily a good thing. Now let's break this down. Procrastination, right? That means you're putting off things until later, right? And I think we're all guilty of it. I'll say that. I'll say that I've been procrastinating on recording audiobooks. Why? Because it's time consuming and I have to really immerse myself into it. I have to be dedicated. My mind has to be there, whatever the case is. And I've only recorded 5 audiobooks out of 40 plus books. It's not necessarily a good thing, right? But I know that I have to really step up to the plate and do it this year. And I'm going to now. Procrastination keeps you from really getting to where you want to be. Now, laziness, that can attribute to a few things. I mean, sometimes, when you have a lot going on in your life and you're doing so much at once, sometimes you just need a moment to rest yourself. And that is a good thing. You do need to rest yourself because your body will break down and your body won't be having it. So I'm not talking about that laziness. I'm talking about laziness as in like you have the energy, you're good, you're eating well, you're doing the right things in regards to your physical health, but your mindset on doing the things that you need to do, it's not going to get you to those doors that are going to open for you. And they say it takes 8 to 10 years to build something really good and really special. For some, it may happen sooner than others, but the average is 8 to 10 years, right? So think about how bad you want it and how much you're willing to sacrifice to get to where you want to be, right? Now, being unmotivated, see, that requires you to turn on that switch where the consistency and discipline comes in. And I've talked about that at great length on previous podcasts. So I'm not going to, drive myself crazy and be in being repetitive with that part. When it comes to doing those things, when it comes to doing things actually that don't pertain to your goals, that can mean binge watching TV shows, going out all the time, hanging out with friends and family regularly, drinking, bad habits, spending too much time on social media, and plenty of other things that I can name. I'm not saying to not do these things. I'm saying to do it more in moderation if you have big goals you want to accomplish. So, binge watching that TV show, see me, I binge watch stuff because I may get an idea for something. So, there's a reason why I do certain things. So it's not to say, I don't binge watch TV shows that don't relate to, social issues, things like that, because I do watch TV shows, but I don't spend my whole day binge watching TV shows unless I'm doing work at the same time. I'm always multitasking. I'm not saying be me. I'm not saying do what I do because I'm not normal. I can literally sit and watch a sports game, do work on my laptop, and listen to music at the same time. I don't know how I do it. I don't know why I do it. It's just I'm pretty good at the multitasking thing. What I'm saying is do things in moderation. Hanging out with friends and family, well, you know, I've lived on the West Coast, so I don't, get to come home all the time. And when I do come home, I try to fit in the most important people in my life and see them and do those things. So, you know, I know that if I'm going to be, home for a while, then I can, take a break from doing a whole ton of work and spend time with family. And then when I go back to the West Coast, it's back to work because the people that you're spending time with, they're not going to get you to where you want to be. Believe me. There aren't many people that are going to be like, "Hey, let me help you with this," or "Hey, what's going on with this project or that project or whatever it is," right? Um, Social media. Sometimes it's good to take a detox. I did it in December where I logged off of Twitter and Instagram. Uh, TikTok does give me ideas sometimes, so I kind of stayed on there. But and then Facebook, I'm not really on Facebook that much anymore anyway. But to log off of 3 out of 4 is a pretty good thing for me. It was good, and then when the new year started, I kind of came back on, and there's all these like different features on Twitter where you can see how many people have like viewed your posts, and like Instagram now you can post little sayings or thoughts or whatever the case is, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, I guess you guys want to change features at the end of the year. Great. But anyway, I will pop on social media, post a story, post something real quick on Instagram, look at a couple people's stories, scroll a little bit, and within like 10 minutes, I'm like, okay, I'm over it. Sign out and keep it moving. Twitter, I post a couple of things, sign out, keep it moving. That's it. I'm not too immersed in it anymore. And I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying, get off of social media altogether. But if it's not catering to your life and it's not making you a better person, it's not making you think, or, people are not contributing to making your life better, there is no point in following them. There's no point in them following you. And it's time to let that whole situation go. At this point, it's time you kick your bad habits. It's get yourself in line to work towards your goals, because greatness does not come from doing the bare minimum. It comes when you eliminate the things that aren't going to get you to where you want to be. So the question is, are you ready to kick those bad habits and achieve what you are put here on this planet to do? And bad habits also include drugs and drinking and not taking care of your health and not eating right and not exercising and all of those other things. Because when the joints start hurting, you're not stretching yourself enough and you're not, moving your body, you're not getting enough blood flow. And it's only but so much Tylenol and Aleve and chiropractors and all of that is, going to do. Sometimes those things do help, but a lot of times it's you got to move your body. You can't sit in one place all the time. Your posture's got to change. You've got to stretch your body a lot more, especially as you get older. Trust me, I've still got to do a lot more stretching and different exercises to kind of keep my body good. It's about self-care. It's about taking baths and cleaning your face and drinking more water than sugary drinks. And it's a myriad of different things that you've got to really sit and say, okay, these are the things I need to do. This is how I need to take care of myself. It's also eliminating a lot of that fast food. It's good to sit in a restaurant from time to time and have a good meal. It's not a bad thing to have pizza every once in a while. But when you start looking at McDonald's and Burger King and Arby's and Carl's Jr. and Hardee's and Sonic and Wendy's and Subway and and Five Guys and Quiznos and Dunkin' Donuts and Krispy Kreme and all that stuff, when you're eating all of that a little too much, yeah, then it's time to start reevaluating yourself and cutting things out of the picture. Do I have Chipotle from time to time? Yes. Do I have Five Guys from time to time? Yes. Um, you know, but I do it in moderation and know that my butt will be in the gym the next day burning it off. Things change. And as you get older, you've got to start looking at your bad habits and saying, okay, I've got to eliminate this and that. Even more to add to the bad habits is your way of thinking. And that's something that, we all deal with and struggle with in different ways. We overthink, we overanalyze, we question things, we replay situations. All of that kind of clutters things and keeps certain doors closed sometimes. And you've got to believe in yourself and your talents and your abilities and your gifts, because that is what's going to give you the fulfillment in your life when you're 80. And yes, 80 for me is the golden age. I want everyone to make it to 80, right? So what are the bad habits that you're willing to work on and sacrifice and get yourself in a better place? Because like I said in my previous podcast on Monday, you have to be good physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Like, all of those things matter. You can be financially great, but laying in a hospital with heart problems. You could be emotionally good, but your spirit isn't right because you've got the wrong people around you. So let's make sure that all of these things are in line. And let's make sure that we're changing these bad habits and making ourselves the best versions of ourselves. With that said, guys, that's my podcast for today. I thank you guys for listening. As always, have a good week. Stay tuned for Book Insight Friday. Be good, everyone, and go accomplish your goals.